Hi, my name is Marti Cordova. I live in Wetumka, Oklahoma, and here in Alva, enjoying your really nice community and seeing the artwork that you have here while I am showing here at Graceful Arts Gallery, which I am pleased to have been invited to show at. My medium is photography, and I've been doing photography most of my life. I learned most of what I know about photography from my dad, who was a pretty studious amateur photographer. He showed a lot. He belonged to a camera club, and he received a lot of awards for his work. And so he gave me a camera when I was quite young. I didn't have a Brownie, but I had a little box camera that took black and white pictures, and usually there were 8 pictures to a roll, and you had to be very judicious when you used film of what you took your pictures of, because it cost a lot of money to buy the film, and it cost a lot more money to develop it, and so you didn't want to waste your pictures. And gradually I got different cameras, and finally when I was in high school, I think my dad bought me a 35 millimeter that was made in East Germany, and had a Zeiss lens, and because it was a 35 millimeter, I could, I used film, but I could take 36 shots at a time, which was really fun, and I started using that more, and that was color, so I enjoyed that as well. I grew up in Colorado, so my subject matter was mostly the mountains and natural things, nature, and things like that. And to this day, I still prefer a lot of natural things. My mother and dad both studied a lot of the wildflowers of the West and documented them, and so floral subjects are also one of my favorite things to film. And I like adventure. I like dirt roads. I like things that are different and odd. So I do some photography with architecture, sometimes strange things that you find in places that people don't usually go to. Sometimes those are historic things. Sometimes they're strange things, like I found a tree that had eaten a rock. I call it my rock eater, that had eaten a rock, and it's gradually grown up and pulled the rock off the ground. And so there's a little archway underneath the rock. And those are odd things, but I like those kinds of things because I get excited about them, and I think they're interesting. My photo work that I have on display here is primarily natural works. Mostly all of it are pictures that are taken in Oklahoma. I've lived in Oklahoma now for about 26 years, and have just thoroughly enjoyed going to all different parts of Oklahoma. I think so many of the areas of the state people are unfamiliar with. People who've grown up here kind of stayed in their small towns and haven't been around a lot, and I think they've really missed some great opportunities. So I like to display that because I think because Oklahoma has so many different ecosystems, more than most other states do, I think people aren't aware of the incredible variety of natural things that you do have. And so, like I said, most of my photography that I have on display here are natural things. And of course, the weather in Oklahoma is fun, and every now and then you get a good shot. Photography for me is a lifelong lesson. A lot of people don't see it so much of an art so much of it as so much of an art because photographs have become so commonplace in our life. At one time, they were not. But now with cell phones and all that, almost everybody has access to a camera. But there are things that you need to learn about how you take a shot, how you frame a shot, how you light a shot, how your particular camera works, and every camera is different. The switch to digital cameras from 35 millimeters is just like a whole new ball game. The way it captures light is different. The amount of editing that you need to do between a film camera and a digital camera is significant, and it takes a while for you to figure that out because although the digital is very, very accurate in its detail, they tend to lose a little bit of color enhancement. And so when you process your pictures, you kind of have to add that back in because it gets lost on the photo paper or on the canvas that you're printing it on. So you have to edit that up so that it really shows and is not lost in the process. So these are things that I've been learning over the last couple of years since I switched to digital photography. And it's really quite a challenge. And it would take a lifetime to learn all there is to learn about those things. So I just started showing about 3 years ago. It's been fun. I've mostly showed in Oklahoma City at 50 Pen Gallery. But I've had the privilege of doing the 24 Works on Paper, which was a statewide show that went around the state for about 2 years. And so went to a lot of rural communities, and every 2 years they do a different show, and they go to different rural communities and make an opportunity available for children to come and see how artists are working. And so I've gotten to do that. And it's just been fun meeting artists and meeting people and enjoying my craft and having an opportunity to speak about it. And I want to thank you for that opportunity.
Website or Facebook?
I can be reached at a Facebook address of Barcourt Images, and I don't have a website up yet, but you can find me on Barcourt Images, or you can look up Marti Cordova and find me there. Thank you.